السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Inshallah, we continue with our prophet stories. Today we have the continuation of Prophet Dawood. Previously, we talked about the story of Prophet Dawood, what happened during his lifetime, and some of the blessings that Allah had given him. And we talked about his son a little bit, that Allah had blessed him with a son named Sulaiman. And his son Sulaiman was also given prophethood by Allah. He was also given rulership and kingdom. Okay, so he inherited the kingdom after Prophet Dawood, and he was extremely special. And his story is one of the very, very special stories in the Quran, and very interesting stories in the Quran. So when Prophet Sulaiman becomes a ruler, okay, he makes dua to Allah. He asks Allah, "Oh Allah, give me a kingdom that no one else had ever seen the like of it. Give me a kingdom that is so special that nobody had a kingdom like it, and nobody will have a kingdom like it." Right? And Allah granted his dua and gave him a very special kingdom. And in the kingdom of Prophet Sulaiman was giving in his army, he was given humans, he was given animals, he was given birds, he was even given jinn. So he had all sort of creatures in his army or under his command. Now, you may be asking, how can the animals be in the army? Allah had given Prophet Sulaiman the ability to speak with animals. So he had the ability of speaking to animals, so he can understand what they're saying, and he can understand what he's saying to them. That goes for the birds, that goes for the animals. Also for the jinn, he had the ability to communicate with the jinn, and Allah enslaved the shaitans for Prophet Sulaiman. So they would work for him, right? Employees to Prophet Sulaiman, do whatever he commanded to do. And of course, the regular human soldiers. So he was given a kingdom that was so different than anything else we have ever seen in the entire world from the beginning to the end. Prophet Sulaiman, a very, very unique kingdom. Okay. And one day, as Prophet Sulaiman checking his army, he does not find one of the birds. So he acquires about this bird, and nobody really knew where the bird was, until the bird came to Prophet Sulaiman, and Prophet Sulaiman is upset with the bird for not being in with the army. So he said that the bird tells him that I came to you from a city called Saba, right? A city called Saba, which is a city in Yemen. I've come to you with a news from this city, right? The city of Saba. There is a woman that rules these people, a leader over these people, the people of Saba. They have a huge kingdom. And I found that these people are worshiping the sun, right? The bird says to Prophet Sulaiman. So Prophet Sulaiman became upset. How can these people worship the sun and not worship Allah, the creator of the sun and the moon and everything else, right? So Prophet Sulaiman used the bird to deliver a message to this woman. So he sent a message with this woman, and in this message, the message was saying what? Speaking to this woman that come to me as Muslims, right? Accept Islam, right? Worship Allah alone. Telling the lady about Allah, that He's the only God, and you shouldn't be worshiping the sun and the moon and any other gods. And it seems like the queen was touched by it, and she maybe was thinking about it. So she asked the people, what should I do about this message that I received from this, King Sulaiman? So she was advised to pay him. Maybe that's what he wants. He wants to be paid off. He wants money. So just give him some money, give him some gifts and buy him off, basically. And that's exactly what she does. She sends to Prophet Sulaiman a bunch of gifts and a bunch of precious things, hoping that this would help the situation, and this will get Prophet Sulaiman off her back, and basically just he leaves her alone. Okay, and she's like, we're not interested in your religion. Okay, we're not interested in worshiping Allah alone. We're not interested in this. Prophet Sulaiman felt insulted by this gift that they were bringing, so he said, take it back. We don't want this. This is not, you think that this gift is going to do something for you, or is that what I wanted, money or gifts? So Prophet Sulaiman showed real strength to this queen, okay, after he rejected her gift or rejected taking it. Tell her that we're not in need of your gift. We're calling you to something very important here. So the queen decided to pay Prophet Sulaiman a visit, right? And when that happens, Prophet Sulaiman he finds out that she's coming. He asked his army, which one of you is able to bring me her throne before she comes to me? I want you to bring her throne from her city, because she's on her way to me right now. And a journey like this will probably take me weeks, if not months, for her to arrive there. So one of the jinn said, I'll bring it to you, in a couple of hours. And another one of the jinn said, I'll bring it to you in a blink of an eye. By the time Prophet Sulaiman blinked, the throne was there in front of Prophet Sulaiman. And when he brought the throne, okay, waited for the queen to come, and the queen comes in and she sees all of the amazing architecture, like the beautiful building that Prophet Sulaiman has, because of course the ones who build stuff for him isn't just humans, they even jinn and other creatures. So he has something that no one else has, right? The houses that he has and things like that is nothing like anybody else sees. So she sees a floor that is made out of clear glass, and she never seen anything like it. She pulls her garment up thinking that she's going to get wet because there is water under this glass, so she pulls up her garment, and she realized that this is glass. It's not actually water. So anyway, she does see the throne. She does see her throne. And what happened was she decides to enter Islam when she realized that this is her throne that was brought from her city. Prophet Sulaiman brought it. She realized this had to be a prophet. This cannot be a coincidence. So she accepts Islam, and all of her people accept Islam as well. And she starts worshiping Allah along with her people. One of the things that had happened when Prophet Sulaiman is, as he passing by his army one day, and his army is big, huge army, and has all these creatures in it. Prophet Sulaiman overhears one of the ants speaking to the rest of the ants. What was this ant speaking? What was the ant saying? The ant is telling the rest of the ants, go and hide before Sulaiman comes and crushes you. Okay. Prophet Sulaiman is coming, so go and hide in your houses before he comes and crushes you. So start to call out on them. Prophet Sulaiman hears what she's saying, and he smiles, and he thanks Allah for the blessing that he had given him, for the fact that he is able to understand the ants and understand the animals, right? So he felt very thankful to Allah that Allah had given him all these great abilities that were given to him. So at the end of the life of Prophet Sulaiman, one day Prophet Sulaiman had the jinn working, doing a project, right? Some of the devils, some of the shaitans working and doing a specific project. They were doing something for Prophet Sulaiman working, and Prophet Sulaiman was sitting on his throne observing them working, and he's leaning on his cane, Prophet Sulaiman. Allah sent him the angel of death to take his life while these shaitans were working, and his soul was taking, and Prophet Sulaiman died sitting down on he had his cane on, and he was dead for a while. None of these shaitans were able to realize this until some termites came and start eating away at Prophet Sulaiman's cane, right? So when they start eating away Prophet Sulaiman's cane, his Prophet Sulaiman ended up falling on the floor, and that's how they realize this had to be that he's dead. That only if we knew the unseen, we would have known that he was dead. But our knowledge is limited. The jinn are saying, right? And in this, there is a lot of lessons. And this was the end of the story of Prophet Sulaiman, one of the greatest kings of all time. Okay, so what do we learn from this story? Number one is to be thankful for Allah's blessings. Sometimes we should stand and pay attention, slow down, right? You see, Prophet Sulaiman, when he heard the ant, right, he could have just brushed it off. But he really thought about and took a moment to ponder and to think about the blessing that Allah had given him. The fact that he's able to hear ants and no one else is able to hear ants. So for us, observing this and being thankful for our eyesight or our hands or our tongue, you know, our ability to walk around and to understand things when many others cannot do many of these things. So that's very important. And that's what Prophet Sulaiman teaches us here. Also, we see that how Prophet Sulaiman was very strong upon the truth. When he heard about these people worshiping someone other than Allah, he felt like he needed to speak to these people. He needed to tell them something. He needed to call them to Islam. And we should have this urgency to call people to Islam, to bring them the truth, right? To tell them about that which is right, to call them to the worship of Allah alone and to not worship any idols or statues or anything. We also see the plan of Prophet Sulaiman. He wanted to prove to her that you know, you're on falsehood and then I'm sent by Allah. And that's when he thought about the idea of the throne, bringing her throne before her. So she can see there is no way can somebody go and bring the throne, a human being, right? This had to be done by Allah. This had to be a special. And this has to be a prophet. And that's what she realized, right? That's what she realized. That's what brought her into Islam, right? We also see from the ending of Prophet Sulaiman that all of these, the jinns or shaitans, their power is limited. Sometimes we as humans, we attribute power to the jinn or the shaitans, unlimited power, as if they just don't die, as if they are endless, you know, they live on forever. They can never be broken or destroyed. And this is not true. You see there, they didn't even know the Prophet Sulaiman was dead. How can they help you find out the future? Or they help you find out the outcome of things? They're very limited creature, just like we are. At the end, we see that this is a very amazing story. We ask Allah to make us from those who follow the footsteps of Prophet Sulaiman and the likes of the prophets. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka